Everyone needs to take a deep breath. The language that's flying around about traitors and left-wing governments, it all really has to be toned down. And let's really understand what's happening over here with the Israeli government. First and foremost, the new unity government has not been formed. There are still significant gaps between the sides, and they're trying to work all of that out. Let's assume the government actually forms, though. This notion that this is a disastrous, catastrophic left-wing government, how can there possibly be a government that's involving the Ram party and the Arab party in Israel, doomsday scenarios? There's a few points that have to be made over here. First of all, before we even analyze this particular government, can everyone please remember that Benjamin Netanyahu wanted to form a government with the help of the Ram party, of that same Arab party. He was 100% going to do it. Why was it okay for Netanyahu to do so, but now it's an act of being a traitor for Bennett to do so? You have to ask yourself that question. But let's go further. This whole idea about how can Bennett possibly go together with parties that are on the left wing? Can I please remind everybody that in 2009, who did Benjamin Netanyahu bring on as his Minister of Defense? Ehud Barak from the Labour Party, very solidly in the left, as Defense Minister. In 2013, who did Benjamin Netanyahu bring on as his Justice Minister? Tzipi Livni, very much from the left. We don't even have to go back that far. Let's just go back to this past government. Who did Netanyahu agree to be his Justice Minister? Avi Nissenkorn, solidly from the left wing in Israel. So now Bennett is forming a government which will have left-wing ministers. But who are they going to be? Nitzan Horowitz from Meretz as the health minister, not defense, not justice, as health minister. Tamar Zandberg from Meretz as the environmental minister. I've worked with Tamar on environmental issues. She's wonderful. There's nothing left-wing or right-wing about it. She'll do great things for the environment. I have no doubt that Nitzan will do great things for Israel's health ministry and health department. Minister of Transportation, Merav Michaeli from Labor. The only position of someone who calls themselves left-wing that involves anything related to security is Omer Bar-Lev from the Labour Party, who's going to be the Minister of Public Security. My friends, Omer Bar-Lev was the Israeli soldier with the last feet on the ground in Entebbe. He was the commander of Israel's elite commando unit. This is a man who solidly believes in Israel's security and is not going to in any way be hurtful or damaging to Israel as the Minister of Public Security. Put things into proportion. Bennett has arranged it in a way where there are left-wing ministers, but they have really compromised, and they're not going to be in positions where they can in any way enact a, so to speak, left-wing agenda on this government. The way it works like now, the security cabinet is going to be 6 right-wingers and 4 from the center to left. 6-4 in the security cabinet. Right now they're negotiating that the committee to appoint new judges will have a majority of right-wing. The left wing over here has made great compromises to enable this government to happen. So all this talk about this dangerous left-wing government is just hyperbole, and it's just scare tactics, and it's just not accurate. Even the discussions about Yair Lapid as being this horrible, dangerous left-winger for Israel. I'm not a member of Yesh Atid. I don't have to sit here and defend Yair Lapid. He's just not a dangerous left-winger. He's very much in the center of Israel's political map. Yesh Atid itself is made of people from different places on the political map. And there's no dangerous left wing taking over. In fact, this government right now is going to be about 20 seats solidly right wing, somewhere around 27 seats very solidly center, and then around 12 seats on the left, and then add the 4 seats from the Ram party. Very balanced, very well-rounded. So everyone, just take a step back before you start thinking the sky is falling and there's a doomsday scenario, and understand everything that I just laid out for you. Will this government last? I don't know. It's going to be an extremely, extremely difficult government to manage. 61 mandates in any government where any one person can essentially topple the government is very difficult to manage. The most important position in this government is actually a position that many people don't know about. It's the chairman of the coalition. I don't know who that will be, but they're going to have to constantly, on a daily basis, be navigating all the ins and outs of this coalition and how it's going to work. It's going to be very difficult. Is it possible that a security situation will come up and then all of a sudden the differences between right-wing and left-wing, Jew and Arab, will just pull this government apart? It's possible, and it might not last very long. But to suggest that anyone in this picture is a traitor, to suggest that anyone is forming a left-wing government, that is outright false, and that is outright politics. So please, everyone, analyze the facts, study it with intellectual honesty, and let's remove all that horrific language from the discussion, and let's see what this government is able to produce. Israel's a democracy. There will be an opposition. Benjamin Netanyahu will be the leader of that opposition. If this government falls, we go to another election, and we'll see how it plays out. But in the meantime, let's view it for what it is. And it is a unity government, bringing together many different factions of Israel, which is not a bad thing for Israel in this time. They'll try to manage the economy, the health, try to heal some of the wounds in Israeli society. They won't do anything extreme right-wing or left-wing, and they'll try to manage this balancing act. They'll succeed, it'll be great for Israel. They won't succeed, the government will fall apart. But one thing is for sure, there is no doomsday scenario over here, and Israel is not on the fringe of any kind of a catastrophe. Take it all to heart, and let's be careful what terminologies and language we use as we discuss this development. I'll certainly come back with updates as we see what happens, but in the meantime, deep breath, Israel still functioning, and all will be good with God's help. Wishing everyone a wonderful day.